Unfortunately, I was not present in the last class.
Oh, how come? Okay, what we agreed in the last class is that each person will choose a topic from any of your daily activities and tell us a story about your daily activities for 2 minutes.
Oh,
One particular topic you can choose, it is your choice.
Daily activities means while you are going to office or while you are going to work or while you are going to market.
Our
It is just
sentence.
it is just like experience sharing, right?
Yes, something like that. So that is what we agreed. Can you do something for us?
yes. I would like to share what I do in a
Yeah,
day, or
on
how my
daily
normal
basis.
routine.
See,
That
mashallah,
is,
he's energetic, energetic.
mashallah, that is it. That's why we call it spoken English. So with
Yeah,
that, we can help ourselves
mashallah.
anywhere we need to develop. We will talk about it, and then so that every day we want to add something. We want to gain something every day. We don't want to just come together and chat and go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coffee. So
For for
now
brother Adam,
to
for
start,
brother, yeah, for brother Adam, actually we have to give coffee. See, unfortunately, see, we have to give coffee and biscuit, like because of
already I request coffee from Sister Hajar.
yeah, I saw that. That's why I'm telling.
So you read my mouth already.
Yeah, yeah.
Mashallah, mashallah, you are smart.
Alhamdulillah, brother. No, because I'm always worrying about your, the thirsty, your hunger, your struggling,
No, no problem, inshallah.
Yes, brother Daulat, you can come forward. Just
So
say
you can
something.
you can you can you can tell us first. I want to know, what do you do actually
Yes,
on
I'm studying masters in Arabic language and literature.
Mash,
Most.
mashallah, subhanallah. So I can still learn something from you then. You
Yes.
see? So you
Uh,
see, I'm going to be asking you my own questions also on Arabic afterwards.
yes.
In the
Inshallah.
meantime, tell us on daily basis, what do you choose? Which topic do you want to tell us about? How you go to studies, or how you or you see, before you start,
Yes.
I want to give you some highlight.
Yes.
Don't think about all you do in a day is just to go to the school and come back. No, you can choose only the process you go to school. You can choose the transportation system and talk about it. You can talk about the life on campus when you get to the school. You can talk about the people you work with or your classmates. You can choose to talk about your classmates separately. Each of them, you can create a topic to talk for 2 minutes. So you have to choose which one you want to talk about.
Yes, I'll go with the how would be in our campus, college
Okay,
campus.
good. So you now tell me you want to tell us about your life on campus, right?
Yes. Yes.
Good. So you you can go ahead and start, inshallah.
But I would like to say a few words about my college. I study in Jamal Muhammad College, one of
Okay.
the famous colleges in Tamil Nadu, India. And the alumni of our college are available all over the world. They are spread out all over the world.
Okay.
First, our college, I have been to many, I visited many colleges and many schools. But when we enter into our college, it would be a really different experience. You would feel very peaceful, very calm.
Okay.
And I would like to share. Campus life, I would like to say about uh, the education system and how I interacted with my teachers like that.
Good. So you see, to start with, if I, from what you just said,
Yes, sir.
introduction is what you just did, right? And
Yes.
when you want to start introduction, what you start with is, you can say, I attend so and so university, Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
So and so university is one of the famous or one of the leading higher institutions in India.
Yes.
You are not talking about only Tamil Nadu. Now you are talking about the entire India. You
Yes.
get the point.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you say the life on the campus of this university is very peaceful, tranquil, and progressive. I'm just giving you an example. I never knew about that until I started visiting other higher institutions in the state. So this is how you start your introduction. Then you come down to start talking about the details of life on the campus. So you have to restart again and 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 try to reconstruct your sentences.
Yes.
In fact, I appreciate your effort. Not everybody can do what you just did now. Not everybody can just accept and start talking about it without planning. So, mashallah, you can restart and you can start again.
I attend Jamal Muhammad College.
Mashallah.
Uh, Jamal Muhammad College is one of the leading institutions in Tamil Nadu, in our state,
Higher,
of our
higher
state.
institutions.
Uh, Higher institutions of our state.
Yeah,
Life on our campus is very peaceful, very tranquil, like that.
great.
Usually, the college begins at 9 o'clock. It and ends at 1 p.m.
When
in the
you are
afternoon.
talking of college, you are talking of classes or studies, not the college. The college will open
Oh yes,
earlier
yes.
than that. Your studies, okay, Hayat is here. Okay, let's go.
The classes begin at 9 in the morning and end at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Great.
We have 5 teaching hours, each hour consisting of 40 minutes,
Wow.
and we would have 10 minutes break in between each hour.
Okay. Each lesson.
Yes, each lesson is. Normally, the first hour would be handled by our head of the department. Our head of the department is a very talented person, and he every day used to uses he motivates us, and
Great.
he is actually a translator. He worked as a translator in Libya
Wow.
for almost 7 to 8 years.
MashaAllah.
He used to share us about his experience, and very interactive. His classes will be very interactive and very informative.
Just one point before you proceed.
Yes, sir.
When you say used to,
Yes.
that means before, not anymore.
Oh, yes, yes.
But I understand what you want to tell me is that he shares his experience, right?
Yes, sir.
So you don't say he used to. You can use the first person singular. He shares information about this, and that. This is a normal thing that he does every day or every now and then. So when you say used to, that means before, but he doesn't share it anymore. So that is where you use the word used to. I
Yes.
used, if I want to tell you something now, if I say I used to be a child, see, I'm no longer a child.
Yes. Yes.
So I will say I used to go to College of Science, Tamil Nadu. That means I no longer go to College of Science. Now I'm going to maybe College of Technology. Okay, Muhammad Irshad, mashallah, welcome. You get the point. So that
Yes,
is
sir.
where you use the term used to. Muhammad Irshad, welcome, good evening.
Good evening, brothers. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Welcome to the class. I'm having my coffee alone, I'm sorry.
Oh, today Muhammad Irshad is responding, mashallah. This is a good sign.
That is good sign. Okay,
And
brother.
today, Dawlat Basha also, he gave more than 7 minutes talk.
Yeah, let's go. Continue, please.
Yeah, I
Don't
counted
worry.
the 7 minutes, alhamdulillah.
Don't worry about side. Let us continue. So now tell me, what does your teacher give you? Tell us.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Every day he normally begins with the uh, motivation.
Motivation. That's great. Can you remember any of them?
Yes, sir. He usually says how important it's for a student of Arabic language to read books.
Good.
He also says about the life experiences and stories of people who have been working hard, who used to work hard when they were in their masters or when they used to study Arabic language in the starting in their.
So you have used that word used to again, and you didn't use it properly. It tells us, let me give it to you. It tells us about people who work hard. People who work hard. You don't say people who works hard. No. If you are talking about a single person, then you say he works hard. But when you are talking about people, you are talking about plural now.
Oh, yes.
You know, in Arabic, you have mufrad, muthanna, and jam'.
Yes, sir.
In English, you don't have muthanna. You have mufrad and jam' only.
Yes, sir.
So when you are talking of mufrad, that's when you say it, people as somebody works hard. But if you say people, that is jam'. So you say people who work hard. So continue. It talks about people that work hard and read how to improve. Sometimes you need to quote certain sentences that he repeats a lot. Since he motivates you every day, since he is talking about motivation every day, there might be certain statement that he repeats very regularly. So can you remember any such? It's good you include something like that in your story. When you say he normally motivates us, it tells us about people who work hard, people who read different books. They read a lot, they read wide in order to improve their knowledge. So there is this statement he always makes, and then you say, this is the statement. For instance, I will tell you about an uncle of mine. Anytime he talks to me, he will say, anything you want to do, there is a way to do it. So if you don't follow the right way, then you will struggle. So
Yes.
he always makes this statement: whenever you find yourself struggling, you are not doing the right thing. That is quote. You get that? Then I can continue. So these are the kind of things that make your statement very fluent. When you speak in such a way, you feel the flow. Yourself, you will feel satisfied that your talk is flowing in a sequence that people will enjoy. So
we
let's
always
continue.
stress upon the mumarasa, practicing.
Okay.
Whatever it may be whether reading, speaking, writing.
Okay.
In
You
each,
practice.
yes, sir.
Okay. What do you call that in Arabic?
Mumarasa.
Mumarasa. So how does it differ from muraja'a?
Muraja can be said as a revision.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Yes.
Mumarasa, muraja'a. Okay. You see, I have learned from you now. So it's not one way anymore.
Yes.
So, Fadal, continue. So, how much do you practice? How, you see now, since he talks about practicing, so you can now from there, you reduce the scope of your talking. You know, when you take a wide scope, at a point, you will find it difficult to conclude.
Yes,
So when
sir.
you have to talk about something, you know, you have to talk about starting, in between, and ending. So if you take a very wide scope, conclusion becomes difficult. But if you reduce your scope, you can start with a wide scope, and as you are speaking, you reduce the scope so that you will be able to conclude. And you come to end, it is easy. But if you take a wide scope, bringing it to an end is a bit difficult. So now when it comes to this level, then you can cut off other scope and then start telling us how you manage your own practice. And then how that your practice help you to succeed in your studies. You get what I mean?
Yes, sir. I get.
All right, let's go.
Yes, as he mentioned, every day he mentions about practicing reading, writing. So each of us in our class have selected a partner, and we would communicate with them at least 15 to 20 minutes a day in Arabic and English.
Great.
We would just speak what we usually speak. We usually speak in Tamil language when we call someone or we communicate, but we have a fixed time. Usually in our class also we speak in English and Arabic.
Okay.
He advised us to set a specific time in a day and call your friends and call your partner and you just communicate with them in Arabic or English.
Only okay. That's good. That
So
is to that is
yes,
to improve communication.
yes, sir.
Okay, that's good.
So we started communicating every day.
Okay.
Me and my partner, I have a partner named Ashik. He is
Okay.
one of my classmates, and we daily we call each other in the mobile, and we would speak at least for half an hour
Okay. In
in
Arabic
Arabic.
or English or both?
Yes, in Arabic or English.
Okay.
We fixed 10 days we would speak in English and 10 days we would use Arabic.
Okay.
That we have separate. And first, in the beginning, I would have a lot of ideas in my mind and I would get everything. But when I wish to speak or convey the message, it would be a little bit hard.
A little
When
bit difficult, yes.
yes, a little bit difficult.
It
But
help it
but when
happens.
yes, sir. But
Yeah.
when we
When
started conversing and communicating every day, now it has become easier.
okay. Aha. So you see, in English, we use a slogan to
Yes.
describe this. We say practice makes perfect.
Oh,
This is a slogan. When you say practice makes perfect, that means if you practice, you will become perfect with time.
yes,
You
sir.
get the point? So mark this word, practice makes perfect. Maybe there is a slogan similar to that in Arabic. I don't know. Definitely
Yes.
they will, because Arabic is richer than English. So is that the end of the story for now? Because we need, at least I know Daulat will have something interesting also for us tonight, because he has not even said salam yet. And I know he has something good for us tonight to learn from. Daulat,
Yes, sir.
so can you tell us your own story? At least we have heard from the first speaker of how the life on campus is. So now you tell us about your own, as we discussed last week. So choose one thing out of your daily activities and tell us about it, and then let's see how you arrange your uh, story, the sequence, and your tenses. Let's see what we need to correct for today, because today we have a short time. I have another program at exactly 7, so we will not have to take it longer. Maybe after another 15 minutes, maybe 6:45, we'll start general discussion. You bring your questions that you have, so that we talk about them one by one before it is 7 o'clock. So did you prepare any story for us about one thing out of the things you do on daily basis, your daily activity?
Adam, sir, it was me who spoke now.
Okay,
What the
so
life
who
on
is,
campus?
okay, sorry, okay, you spoke live on campus. Okay, Hayat is the person to speak. Hayat is there? Hayat? Hayat, no response. Zain?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay, Zain, I always trust you that you will be active. So did you prepare any story for us? One of the things you do on daily basis, you choose a topic and tell us for 2 minutes to 3 minutes.
Well,
If more,
I did like to sketch some photos of my friends and family.
sorry?
I like to draw photos and sketch.
Okay, so what story are you going to tell us? Okay, how did you start? How did you start the how do you plan? Then you can now tell us how you plan and execute
Well,
your
when I
sketching.
was when I was a kid, I attend my drawing class and try to make some photos. Actually, my drawing was good. It was actually
Okay,
been
okay. One
my
second. Just a moment.
hobby.
Let me get you started. Right? When you want to tell such a story, you need to start by introduction. Then you tell the story and then you conclude. You know what my teacher once told me? If you want to narrate a story, it's in 3 parts. First, tell them what you want to say, that is introduction. Say it, that is telling the real story, and then tell them what you said. Then that is the summary. You get the point?
Yes.
So tell them what you want to say it, and then tell them what you said. So first, you have to do the introduction. Okay, let me give you an example. You are talking about drawing, right? When I was a kid, I love to draw. And growing up, I developed more interest in artwork. So when I started drawing, I discovered that I have the skills and I can improve on my skills. So I picked interest in drawing because my elder brother love, loves drawing also. He gave me a guide to improve on my drawings, and with his help I developed more. By the time I started going to school, I started drawing much better than before. And when I got into school, my teacher encouraged me to put more effort in my artwork. You hear this, the way I put the story?
Yes, yes.
Then you can come to now. Okay, presently, you can tell about the level you are presently in artwork, in drawing, in sketching, in painting, or maybe you have developed from sketches, pencil sketch, to maybe painting. You have developed from painting maybe to oil on canvas or something like that. So you need to know some words regarding artworks or painting or drawing. So now you can construct a story now. At least I have given you half of the story. Fadal, let's go. Zain, I hope you don't have network problem.
No, no.
Okay. Okay, restart the story now. Tell the story from introduction through the story until the end. Let me.
Okay. When I was a kid, I love to draw and I love to draw and try try to try, uh,
You're 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 not audible.
okay, okay.
Okay.
When when I was a kid, I tried. I when I was a kid, I I love to draw. I love to draw and uh,
You know why you're struggling? Yes, Zain? You know why you cannot proceed now? Because you want to do it the same way I did. Don't follow my step. Create your own way. You just use my own as guide. You get the idea?
okay. Yes.
Create your own story. Forget about what I said. If you try to say what I said, you will forget. You will not be able to catch up. So create your own story. Use my own artwork.
Okay. When I was a kid, I love to draw, and
ಇದು only
I
in the
observed that I
class
have interest
ನಾನು
in
ಓದಿದ್ದು.
Yeah.
I observed that I have interest in drawing and sketching, and when I went to school, my teacher encouraged me in drawing work, and have, I try more and more in artwork and
It helped me to develop.
uh,
My
yeah.
teacher helped me to develop
Yeah, my teacher helped me to develop the art and
the the,
sketching.
the skill, the art skill, this my skill in artwork and drawing. So these are the kind of words you have to learn the words. You get the idea now. You have to learn the words that are associated with what you want to talk about. That is how you improve your vocabulary. You understand? So when you say artwork, you have to know, okay, what is artwork first? What are the words associated with artwork? If you are talking about art, you have sketch, you have drawing, you have painting. And then what are the things used for this work? You sketch with pencil, right? You draw with pencil. You do painting with brush, right? You can paint on paper or on canvas. You know what canvas is in artwork? Yeah, Zain? Zain,
Yes,
you know what they call
yes, yes.
canvas in artwork? You know what they call canvas?
Yeah, canvas is a like a piece, paper like
It's a
thing,
it's like it's a piece of cloth, something looking like piece of
piece
cloth.
of cloth. Yeah, yeah, you're
Uh-huh.
right. Piece of cloth. It
That you use
soft,
paint,
soft,
you
soft.
use soft. It's
Yeah,
made as a board, then you make painting with oil on
the
that
board is very
piece of cloth.
easy.
So that one is called canvas sometimes.
Yeah,
So not canvas that is shoe. This one is canvas. That's why when you hear oil on canvas, that means you use oil to do painting on the canvas. Then you talk about tripod stand, you talk about scene, you talk about the view. You understand? Sometimes you have to
yes,
do the sketch of a view. Sometimes you just, when I was in school, there is one artwork that we used to do. Our teacher will just take us out to the water side. Wherever you are standing, he will tell you, just look at the view of what you see from where you are standing and make a sketch of what you see. And sometimes he can bring a cup like this, put on the table, put a spoon next to it, or put maybe some 3 or 4 slices of bread next to the cup and tell you to sketch. This one is pencil work. So you have to know the things that are associated with drawing. You have scale and proportion, right? How to measure and equate sizes. When you are drawing like a street, you know the trees will be rising as they are coming towards you and going down as they are going away from you, so that the view is narrowing, the road is narrowing down. So these are the kind of things you talk about. Perspective, you talk about uh, those words that are associated with drawing. So you have to learn those words. That is improving vocabularies. You get the point now?
yes, yes.
Now,
I get the point.
so now if I go back to what Daulat has said, he spoke to us about life on campus. He studies Arabic and literature, right? Masters. So he told us about life on campus. When you are talking about life on campus, one thing you have to talk about your fellow students, right? First, you have to talk about your fellow students. You have to talk about uh, what do I call it? You have to talk about the classes. You have to talk about lecture timings, which he has given us, that they have 5 lectures per day, eh, and then have 1 hour in between to rest and so on, and then 10 minutes of break in between the classes, as he stated it. And then he talked about the lecturer, and then he talked about, if it comes to that, you have to talk about assignment, homeworks, and what have you. So these are the kind of things that you have to know. What are the words associated with life on campus? Then you have, when you talk of break, you talk of maybe going to the library, group assignments, right? These are things associated with life on campus and studies. If I talk about football, I will talk about the pitch itself, the size of the pitch. I will talk about the players. I will talk about the goalpost. I will talk about the center circle, maybe the 18-yard box. I will talk about goalkeeper. I will talk about captain. And I'll talk about referee. I'll talk about the time it takes to play one football game and so on. So these are the kind of things that we look at. You have to find the words that are associated with what you want to talk about. That is how you develop the vocabularies. If I want to talk about going to the market or going to the supermarket, right? Then you have to think of, okay, what are the things that you want to buy? Okay, Mukhtar. You're welcome to the class, Mukhtar, and we are going to come back to you. You are going to tell us a story about what you do on daily basis. Mukhtar? Mukhtar, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
unmute yourself? Okay, we are in a class. We
yes,
want
sir.
we want each person to tell us a story about one thing he does every day. So start preparing your story. 2 minutes, you have to talk for 2 minutes about one thing that you do every day.
Okay, sir.
All
Okay.
right. So I'm just trying to explain. So
Ah.
if I'm talking about going to supermarket, then I will
Mm.
have to talk about the entrance. Then I will have to talk
Mm.
about the cashier. I have to talk
Mm.
about the groceries. I have to talk about
Mm.
maybe the people I meet inside there, and then
Mm.
checking out. Right?
Mm.
I have to mention. I need to talk about maybe trolley, what I
Mm.
use, or the hand basket.
Mm.
Right? And then I will have to talk about maybe weighing scale. Okay, how many
Mm.
kilo is this? How many kilo is that? And then how much? And then I will talk about the payment at the cashier, whether I will
Mm.
pay cash or I pay with card. So this is how we develop the vocabularies. Whatever you want
You
to
will
talk
talk about
about.
the condition.
Hmm?
You
Sorry?
will talk about the condition.
You have to talk about the condition and find the words that are associated with what you want to talk about. So if I talk about going to school, I've already mentioned that. If we talk about going to the beach, right?
Mm.
We have to talk about the transportation. We have to talk about the sand. We have to talk about the water. If it comes to the water, we have to talk about the wave. And then we have to talk about diving. We have to talk about skating. We have to talk about maybe surfing, right? And then we
Mm.
have to talk about the kind of things you find on the beach, maybe like the shells, and then maybe you see some turtles, you see some crabs, things like that. And sometimes you see some fishermen, you find some boats going on a mission. These are the kind of things that you find that are associated, the words, the vocabularies associated with those things. If I talk of going to stadium, you have to talk about what is about the building. You have the gates, you have the turnstile, you have the concourse, you have the seats, you have the aisles, and then you have the tickets, things like that before you come to the football itself. So the same thing, if you have to go to watch cricket, you have to talk about the stadium, you have to talk about the batman, you have to talk about the bowler, you have to talk about uh, runs, you have to talk about wickets, you have to talk about overs. you know
Yes, sir.
these are the kind of things you have to find the words that are associated with what you want to talk about. So now, Mukhtar, can you tell us a story about one thing that you do on daily basis? Then you have not finished, right?
Ah.
Yes.
Have you finished? You have not. You have not concluded. You only told us up to the middle. Now you have to conclude.
What?
Or you want to start again? It's only 2 minutes. You want to start again?
No, I'm not prepared.
Okay, Mukhtar, can you tell us a story? Then we can develop the English. I thought you, Zain, I thought
Sir,
you will choose
shall I
another
tell
topic.
about?
It is your choice, Mukhtar. It is your choice. I tell us about something you do every day. I don't have to choose for you. Whatever is convenient for you,
Okay, okay.
that you know you can tell us the story.
Okay.
One thing I have to remind you is
Okay, sir.
telling story is 3 steps. First, introduction. Then second, the main story. Third, conclusion.
Conclusion. Okay, sir.
So that's how I want you to put it. Then we can make our corrections along the way. Inshallah.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Mukhtar. I am a teacher. Normally, I start my day with prayers. I wake up early in the morning daily. I fresh up and go for namaz. Sometimes I pray at home itself when I can't go. After namaz, I do some zikr for some time. And after ishraq, I sleep for half an hour, and then I get up and read newspaper, and then I have tea. After that, I take bath and get ready for my school, and then I take breakfast, and I go to school by my bike. In school, I do regular activities, prayer, classes, etc. I have conversation with my colleagues, and sometimes we have conversation with the students in classroom as well as after classes also. And then I come to lunch to home and take some time rest, and then I pray and go back to school, and the same routine. And even after finishing afternoon session, I come back to home, I pray and take tea and normal activities. Sometimes after Maghrib, I use mobile. I watch some interesting videos. I talk with my relatives and friends. And then after after Isha prayer, I take my supper. And then after some time, if I have some school work, I do like correcting papers or preparing for the next day's classes. And then and go to sleep at 10:30 or 11. With this, I conclude my daily routine activities.
Good. Okay, now.
Okay, sir.
Now let's review what you just gave
okay,
us.
sir. I'm anxiously waiting.
Yeah, that's why I said
yes,
let's
yes,
review. That's
so
why
that
I
I
allowed
can
you
correct.
to.
So that I can correct her.
Yeah, that's
make
why
my English better.
Yeah, that's
yes.
why I want us to review it. Okay, when you said I wake up early in the morning, right? So
okay, sir.
Early in the morning is a range. Early in the morning is a range. It goes a long way. I normally wake up, you can just say, normally I wake up before Fajr. I wake up before morning prayers. And you don't need to tell us about how you freshen up and whatever. That one, if you are writing exam, you can add that to make your volume, the volume of your word count.
Sir.
So I normally wake up before Fajr. After Fajr, I sit for some prayers until the sunrise. That is Ishraq. If you are talking in English, we don't speak Arabic there.
Yes.
Ishraq is sunrise.
Okay.
Okay, I sit down to pray until sunrise. After the sunrise, I take a rest for 30 minutes. Sometimes I take a nap.
Oh, okay, nap.
Yeah, nap.
Yes.
Small, that a nap is a short
nap.
sleep.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Nap is a short sleep. That's why I said 30 minutes. Sometimes I take a nap.
Okay, sir.
On getting up, I have my breakfast and get ready for my school. That part is finished.
Okay, sir.
Next is how you go to school. I go to school on bike.
On bike.
Yeah, on bike, and I leave home by 7:30.
Sir, not by bike, sir. Not by bike. On bike.
If you say on bike, that means you have a bike. On bike, by bike is the same. If you say on bike, maybe you are being taken on the bike. Somebody else rides you.
Okay.
What if you ride the bike? You can use I go to school by bike.
On bike. By bike.
By bike or on bike, whichever one you use is correct.
Okay, sir.
You can say I have a bike which I ride to school every day.
Okay, sir.
You get that? I have a bike which I ride to school. I ride on bike to school. So whichever way you choose to use it. Right?
Okay, sir.
So,
okay.
When you say I ride on bike to school, that time you can say it takes me 15 to 20 minutes from my home to the school.
Very good, sir.
So in the school, during now you are in school, after taking riding to school on the bike, then you can tell about the school activities in general. In this case, you don't need to give details of what you do in the school. You are only telling us the routine of your going to school. In school, we have so hours of lectures before the break. And then there is one thing you mentioned. You come to home during break.
Come home.
You don't say come to home. You say come home.
Come home.
So you don't need to use to home.
Sir, return home, sir?
Yeah.
Is it correct? Return home. I return home.
Return home. Return home. You use return home after
classes. After the school
classes.
hours.
Yeah, after school hours, you are returning home. That is last for the day. You are no longer going back to school. So you can say, I go home for break. You go home for break. And after lunch, you take a short rest before going back to school.
Yes.
Or before returning to school. So you see, these are the two places. You come home for break
and go back.
Return to school, or go back to school after break.
Okay. Sir, one more doubt, sir.
Yes.
What's the difference between nap and siesta, sir?
Okay, nap can be any time. It's a short sleep at any time.
Okay.
But if you say siesta is afternoon only.
Okay, sir.
After in the night is not siesta.
Okay.
Siesta is in the afternoon, in between lunch, mostly after lunch. Siesta mostly after lunch. That is afternoon.
In Arabic, we have a separate word for siesta. Khaylula. It is sunnat, I think. Khaylula, sir.
Khaylula. Khaylula. I think yes. Where is our brother? He can confirm that to us, right? Daulat?
Yes, sir. It's a Kailula.
Kailula, sir?
Yes, no.
So Kailula, that is for siesta. That is that rest in between Zuhr and Asr.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in English, we don't have that space. We only say afternoon.
Yes, sir.
So that is why Arabic is rich, and that because Arabic is inclined to Islam, we have
Yes, sir.
qailula normally between Dhuhr
Yes.
and Asr.
Yes, sir.
So, so in that case, what you have at home during your break is a nap. Actually, it's not siesta because you hardly have enough time to
Yes.
say you sleep. No, you take
Oh,
a
no.
nap.
Yes.
It's short time. So
Okay,
when
sir.
you go back to school, is for the second round of your daily lectures.
Yes, sir.
In that case, you can create another story that sometimes you can choose one of the classes that sometimes the lecturer gets busy with other activities. Sometimes a particular lecture is normally postponed.
Yes, sir.
That means you change the time
Mm.
just to create the story to make it a bit
Longer.
longer. Yeah. So you create the story. Sometimes we have this lecture postponed because the class he attends before our own have a lot more activities than ours. Sometimes they have so many questions that they delay the class because they don't have any lectures after that one. So he spent some time there before coming to ours. So you delay something like that. So when you return home in the night, when you return from school, then you finish from the school for the day. The lecture, then in this case, you have to say, okay, our last lecture normally finish at this time, so time. And then I return home during Asr prayers. And then after the prayers or whatever, then you can tell other stories.
Okay, sir.
So no need to tell what you do in between at home because that one is a different scope of stories.
Yes, sir.
When you start telling us after supper, you watch video, you talk to the family, this is a different scope of story. You can create a whole other story on your activities after school. You get the point?
Okay, sir.
You can base that
Conclusion.
Conclusion. That is the part that you say after dinner. This is the one now that you have to bring that after dinner. I normally watch some movie and communicate with distant families over the phone.
Dinner or supper, which one is correct, sir?
Both are correct.
We can use dinner for every meal.
Yes. No, dinner is in the night. When you say supper, what we call supper, right? In most cases, people use the word supper for early dinner.
Oh.
You get the point?
No, but I thought that dinner means something special, whereas supper is normal food what we take daily. Is it so, sir?
Dinner is the food you eat at night.
Okay.
Supper is like what you eat early evening.
Okay.
You understand? Dinner is a meal. Dinner is a meal. Supper is not a meal.
It is taken at night.
Supper is early
something
evening.
short, like brunch.
You can take some fruits and some.
Sir, like brunch.
Yeah, brunch. Brunch actually is a creation. Brunch is when you want to combine breakfast and lunch together.
And
then you
lunch,
take
yes.
You take it in between.
Brunch.
You don't take breakfast at its time, and then you don't take lunch at its time. So you bring lunch and breakfast into the middle. In between breakfast and lunch, then you take your meal. That means that's what we call brunch. You are combining breakfast and lunch together at a time in between.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
You get the point. So
yes,
supper is when you eat early evening.
But that is not the last meal.
It's not the last meal. Meal, the meal, the dinner is called is the meal. Dinner is the meal,
which is taken at night.
Yes. So this supper is always a lighter It's always a lighter evening meal. It's lighter meal. Normally, it's not the heavy food. So you may end up taking some small things. You take some ice cream and maybe some cake and whatever. So it's light normally, supper. And if your dinner is normally 8 o'clock, you take supper maybe around 6. So that is the difference.
Sir, I'm going out for dinner. Is it correct, sir?
Yes, I'm going out for a dinner. Yes.
It may be at some function or in any hotel.
In any hotel or a restaurant, or you are going with friends, or you are going on invitation from another friend or something like that, or or you want to take your family out for a dinner. So that one is correct. I'm going out for a dinner. Get ready, let's go out for a dinner.
Yes.
So things like that. It's 7 o'clock already, gentlemen. We have to close for today. Please, next week, I want us to come with vocabularies about 2 things. Right?
Yes,
because
sir.
we are going to talk about it. Make research on traveling by air, going to the airport, how you check in, how you check out, the gates, how immigration, and those kind of words surrounding airports. I want us to get them by next week. Then we will tell a story of how to travel through the airport. I want you to find the words associated with airport.
Okay, sir. Inshallah.
Yes, everybody should pick. I want everybody to give me at least 4 words associated with airport.
Okay.
And flying in the. It doesn't have to be only airport, aeroplane also. If you can find words about aeroplane, about inside the aeroplane, about in air, taking off, landing, all those words. I want each person to give me at least 4 of them.
Inshallah.
Then we will then we will form a story of traveling. Maybe we will tell about how Zain traveled to Bahrain or Qatar next week, inshallah. Because we need to close now. I have another class. I have another class by 7:15.
Okay, sir.
Inshallah.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, please keep in touch. Please keep asking questions. I want to see more questions on the group.
Inshallah, sir.
If you have any doubts, please.
Okay.
Thank you all, dear brother. Thank you very much. All our brothers, thank you.
Thank you.
Adam, Assalamu alaikum.